Right now, in a lab somewhere, scientists are building tiny machines, really tiny, 1,000 times smaller than a human hair, small enough to swim through your veins, small enough to find a cancer cell, and tap it on the shoulder before you ever feel sick. This is not science fiction. Some of it is already inside real patients today. We're talking about nanotechnology. It might be the biggest shift in medicine since we discovered germs cause disease. Stick around. By the end of this video, you'll understand how something smaller than a virus could save your life, and where the hype needs to slow down. For most of history, medicine worked one way. Something goes wrong in your body. Symptoms show up. You go to a doctor. Then you get treated. That's reactive. It happens after the fact. Nanomedicine flips that. Instead of waiting for a tumor to grow big, it tries to catch it early. Instead of waiting for a stroke, it tries to catch the warning signs, sometimes before you even notice anything is wrong. Let's talk about size for a second. A nanometer is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. A human hair is about 80,000 to 100,000 nanometers wide. A red blood cell is about 7,000 nanometers. The particles we're talking about are often under 200 nanometers. That's small enough to slip between cells, small enough to squeeze through blood vessel walls, small enough to talk directly to the machinery inside a single cell. At that size, this isn't really medicine the old way. It's engineering, just built from molecules instead of metal. Let's ground this in reality, because nanotech has a hype problem. A lot of people think we already have tiny submarines swimming through our arteries. We don't. But some of this is already real, already approved, already used. Here's the clearest example. You've probably had it injected into your arm already. mRNA vaccines. The COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna use lipid nanoparticles. Think of them as tiny fat bubbles, about 100 nanometers wide. They protect a fragile strand of mRNA and smuggle it into your cells. Without that nanoparticle shell, your body would destroy the mRNA in seconds. That's nanotechnology, already used in billions of doses worldwide. Now let's talk about cancer treatment. There's a drug called Doxil. It uses nanoparticles to wrap up chemotherapy and deliver it more precisely to tumors. That means less damage to healthy tissue. And here's the surprising part. It's been FDA-approved since the 1990s. This isn't even new. Researchers are also building nanoparticle tools for diagnosis, tools that can detect cancer-linked proteins in your blood at incredibly tiny concentrations. That could mean catching disease years earlier than today's tests allow. So when we say next frontier, we don't mean starting from zero. We mean scientists already have a toolkit that works, and they're pushing it further. Now let's get to the futuristic part. This is where it gets wild, and where we need to be careful with our claims. Carbon nanotubes are tiny cylinders made of carbon atoms, arranged in a honeycomb pattern. They're incredibly strong. They can conduct electricity, and scientists can modify their surface to carry drugs or stick to specific cells. Researchers are studying them for targeted drug delivery and for detecting disease markers with extreme sensitivity. But here's an important distinction. The idea of tiny robots cruising through your blood, actively repairing cells like microscopic mechanics, that's still mostly research, still mostly theory, not something doctors use on patients today. What we do have is different. Nanoparticles that circulate through your body. They get pulled toward damaged or diseased tissue because of how that tissue behaves biologically. Then they release their cargo. A drug, a marker, a piece of genetic material. So don't picture a tiny robot with a wrench. Picture a smart delivery truck instead. It doesn't decide to fix something like a mechanic would. It's engineered so biology itself steers it to the right address. Then it drops off the package. That's not a small achievement. Precision delivery is one of the hardest problems in medicine. But it's worth being clear what's real science today and what's still a promising idea for tomorrow. So why should you care about any of this? Because the biggest killers in the world are heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. And all three get much easier to treat when caught early. Sometimes they even become curable. Heart disease causes about 1 in 5 deaths in the United States. A huge number of those deaths happen because artery damage went unnoticed for years. Nanoparticle sensors are being developed right now. They could detect the earliest signs of that damage: inflammation, unstable plaque, specific protein signals, long before a heart attack happens. Nanotech-based blood tests are also being developed for cancer. They aim to detect tiny fragments of cancer DNA in your blood, before a tumor is even visible on a scan. This is the real promise here. Not nanobots cure everything, but we might catch the earliest whisper of disease, instead of waiting for the shout. Prevention beats treatment, every single time, for your health and for the cost of medicine. Let's be balanced here. That's what good science looks like. Nanomedicine has real obstacles. Manufacturing these particles safely, at scale, is hard and expensive. Your immune system often notices these foreign particles and tries to clear them out before they can even do their job. We still don't fully know the long-term effects. Do these particles build up in your liver over the years? Scientists are still studying that. And getting full approval for brand new nanomachines will take time. Real time, because it should. This is going into human bodies. None of this means the field is overhyped nonsense. It means it's real science, moving at the real speed of science. Slower than headlines, but far more solid. So here's where things actually stand. We don't have tiny robot mechanics patrolling our veins yet, but we already have nanoparticles delivering vaccines to billions of people. We already have chemotherapy guided precisely to tumors, and we're heading toward a future where a simple blood test could catch cancer or heart disease years early, before any symptoms even show up. That's the real frontier, not science fiction, just a slow, careful, genuinely exciting shift from medicine that reacts to medicine that sees trouble coming. If this blew your mind a little, hit like and subscribe for more science videos. Keep watching.